Hi everyone, and welcome to my midway market recap. So I started doing the Warrior Starter training program 2 weeks ago. I'm on my 11th day of trading now, and I thought I would take some time and give you a review of the whole program, how I'm finding it, and this may help you decide whether you would like to participate in the program or not. Prior to starting this training course, I'd watched YouTube videos from Warrior Trading and other day traders and watched on with anticipation of what would happen, and I would sit back and try and predict what was going to happen, and doing some paper trading, just actually on paper without a simulator, because I wasn't ready to commit to anything. I was working full-time managing an insurance contact center, and being in Australia, it was really difficult to practice in the stock market because it would commence at 12:30 a.m. and needing to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, it just really didn't work well. So now moving to New York, it's given me the time to actually be awake when the market's open, and that's when I decided that it was time to commit to this program. I looked at others out there, but this one seemed the most comprehensive and reasonably priced. So I'm going to actually go into all of these things now, just in case you're not aware of the ins and outs of the program that's offered. Okay, so there are 3 deals to go with when starting out when we're talking about the complete packages. So the first one is the Warrior Starter, which is the one I'm currently doing. So you get the chat room access, real-time trading simulator, and the core Warrior Starter course. So it's very similar to a lot of the videos that you can see on the Warrior Trading YouTube channel. It just goes into a little more detail, and the videos are recorded from previous live sessions that have been done with Ross and some other students. So there's lots of FAQs, and sometimes you can see him reading off like a chat and answering some questions there. So they are a little more detailed than what you can get just for free on YouTube. You then look at the Warrior Pro, which is the next level up, which I'm still undecided whether I'll continue through with that or not. So you get the chat room access for 3 months, the trading simulator, small group mentoring. So I believe this might be where the other training videos might come from, and the Warrior Pro Masterclass suite of courses, which, so I think in the Warrior Study you get the first 4 chapters, and then I believe it goes up to 12 chapters with more details about strategy and things that aren't covered off in the starter. And then you've got the Warrior Inner Circle, which is by application, and I'm not sure how you would go about doing that, but I believe you may have to have either be part of the Pro or have gone through the Pro. The pricing, Warrior Starter is going to set you back between $450 to $500 for the month. The Warrior Pro is about $4,500, and I'm not sure about the Warrior Inner Circle, but I've heard that it might be in excess of $10,000. But again, this is not something that I can confirm. It's just things that I've heard in chat rooms and other stuff. Apart from the Warrior Starter, the cost for the other programs are based on yearly subscriptions. I believe they can be paid quarterly, but I'm not 100% sure. You'd need to double check if you were signing up for one of them. If you weren't really interested in signing up for any of the full programs, if you go to the products page, you can see there's a subscription just to go into the chat room. You can pay monthly, quarterly, or annually. If you pay annually, it's $75 a month over. You have to pay for the full year to get that price. You can then also, if this is your first time going on there, when you go to leave the page, it might also pop up with a $100 discount to sign up. So look out for things like that. There are also other things. If you're signed up to the mailing list for Warrior Trader, you quite often see around Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Halloween, there's lots of discounts that come along, so you might be able to get maybe 30-35% off one of these programs if you've got the time to wait and join up. And then there's also the trading simulator that you can have for $99 a month per quarter, or $127 a month. So there are other options out there for you if you're not fully committed to joining one of the proper training programs. But as you can see up here now, they're offering a $50 discount to do the Warrior Starter. So there's always going to be little discounts that are around the website. So sign up to the mailing list to look for the bigger discounts that are being offered. As you can see here, I've gone to leave the page for the simulator, and it's offering me $100 off if I join within the next 15 minutes. So there's always going to be things popping up. I signed up at the Cyber Monday sale, and I got 35% off, so it brought the cost of the training program to about $290. So that was a very big discount, so look out for those types of things. So once you've made the decision to sign up, you'll get access to the members dashboard. And in the members dashboard, you'll see you have access to the chat rooms, the trading simulator, the education, and the mentor sessions. So the mentor sessions are something that I haven't had the opportunity to do yet, so I can't really give you much information on that. I've watched some recorded sessions before, and they seem reasonably helpful, and I think if you're in there live, you get the opportunity to ask some questions in a chat. So if you have the availability to do so, I'd probably recommend joining one of those, and hopefully by the end of the month I'll have been able to have joined a mentor session and can perhaps give some more feedback around that. If we then go into the education tab, we can see all course materials. So in the all course materials, you go through your onboarding, goes through a few things about what you can expect, talks about Excel charts, how to track what you're doing, and you can then go into the Warrior Starter course, which it goes through stock selection, risk management, candlesticks, and the very basic things that you need to be able to do in order to trade even basically in the simulator. I won't go through the ins and outs of the courses with you. If you decide to sign up, you'll get to go through all of that stuff. So let's go back and have a look. So the next one is the chat rooms. So we'll have a very quick look at the chat room. I found the chat room to be quite helpful in the fact that there's a lot of people in there that they're putting their ideas, a stock that you're going, will I or won't I buy it, and trying to look for an entry point. And you find someone in here might come in and say, oh, there is a particular stock I want to buy. If it goes over $2.10, I'll get in and maybe go try to stay in there for 10 or 20 cent move. So very quickly, this is what it looks like. We won't stay in here and see any of the things. It also has all of the stock scanners that you need, so your gappers in the morning to know where the pre-market activity has been, and then also your high of day momentum scanners. So once the market opens, when there's a lot of traffic happening on a particular stock, you'll get access to have a look at those stocks and put them in your charts and follow along. You might also get Ross or one of the other mentors in the group giving you some pointers on what to do. The chat, there's an on-topic and an off-topic section. Sometimes it gets a bit diluted, and somebody comes in and says, can we please keep it to the actual stock market or trades that we're looking to do, and anything else, any general chat, is just to go into the off-topic one. Ross generally comes in at about 9 o'clock, maybe 9:15, goes through his hit list for the day and what to watch and what not to watch. the thing that you've got to remember with Ross in the chat room is that he's there to trade for himself. He's there to offer input and let you know what he's thinking, but he is also there for trading himself, and once he's done what he needs to do, he goes off and does everything else that he needs to do, his recaps and all of that kind of stuff. But there are people all day there that are sitting there. They've got some verified profit makers that are there for most part of the day, and if you have a question, you put something in the chat and they'll answer that for you as well. So there's always some kind of support in the chat room for you. Okay, so now let's have a look at the trading dashboard. So this is what you'll log into. This is the simulator, and you'll log into this every morning once the market, or even before the market opens, so that you can place your trades. So this is where you'll make your trades on your stock. So we've got Apple in here at the moment. Let's have a look at, like, for example, Tesla. This is where you come in and you'll see your symbol here, and for example mine is set up to buy 500 shares and on the market value, but you would probably want to be setting that as limit. So when you change it over to limit, you're just minimizing the entry point or exit point of your, particularly when you're dealing with a volatile stock. You really want to have some control over that. If you're buying something that's maybe $1.01 that could quickly go up to 20 cents, you want to come in at $1.02. If you don't set a stop and you go in the market, then you might buy at $1.20 instead of $1.02, and then it quickly drop back and you've lost $500. So you must be very careful with that kind of stuff. You then have the charting section. So I don't at this stage use these charts. I use my trading view account, and the reason that I do that is, as you sit there in the chat room of the morning, there's a kind of a watch list that comes up from the scanners, and you can enter those in here. So even though it wouldn't normally be in there, we can add Tesla, for example. It then adds here, and we can then click on that and watch as it goes. And the good thing about this is you can see all of the stocks in the summary here, and you see MYOS has just done something, so you see a little flash and you can just click over and see what's happening and see if something's going up or coming down, and maybe you want to keep watching it. So let's go back to the dashboard. So we then have the hotkeys. So these are what are set up when you start. You can edit these. It's very simple. You just go over and click the edit, and you can change it to what you want. So you may not want to use shift, you might want to use control instead of that. You can then type in the news if you want. Again, for me, I'm using TradingView because it comes up automatically. Once you click on a stock, everything is there for you. We then go to the profit trifecta tab. So this tells you about your consistency, your win, your profits and loss, and your profit trifecta. So at this stage, I'm in 3, which is I'm not profitable. So 39% of my trades are winners, but they're generally quite small. And my ratio is 0.59 to 1. So about 60%, so I'm getting back about 60 cents to every dollar I'm putting in. So that's not great odds. If you have a look at your weekly metrics, you can it breaks it down for you to your profit and loss. So at this stage, including today, I'm down about 1,200 in the 11 days of trading. On the 4th here, there was some system issues with the simulator. The internet provider, or the server, was down, so therefore the sim wasn't actually working. And on the 5th, the stock market was closed for the George Bush Memorial Day. So on the first couple of days here, I was practicing trading, and I wasn't too concerned about whether I was going to get wins or losses. It was just a matter of learning how to use the simulator And on the Wednesday, the second day that I was trading, I thought I was doing really well. I was watching a chart that was the wrong chart, so I thought my stock was going up, but it turns out the stock I'd actually purchased was in a free fall, and I lost about $750 on that because I wasn't really paying attention. So, really good learning curve. On the Thursday, I was really lucky and got into a stock that moved about 40 cents from the time I entered to the time I got out. And I'd gotten about 1,000 or so shares in there. So I was really lucky on that day. But in the majority of the other days, what I find myself doing is, because I'm still learning how to trade properly, and I'm in the chat rooms and I'm reading what other people are doing and listening to advice, sometimes I find I'm trying to mimic or copy what those traders are doing. And I quite often find that I get in just a little bit too late and get out just a little bit too late. And rather than getting the 5, 10 or 20 cent move, I'm getting in once it's more than halfway through that move, and then by the time people are saying get out, it's too late and the losses are happening. So it's very important to go through this process and to learn through the simulator. I've been reading in the chat room that people are, whilst they're still in their first couple of weeks of learning, they're also trading with money in the real world, and they're losing money. So one other thing to consider when you're learning in a simulator is your buys and sells are going to happen. It doesn't rely on someone being there to actually buy them. So if you put in I want to buy at $1 and it's sitting at $1, the simulator will buy that stock for you. And then if it goes up to $1.10 and it's just sitting there and you say, I want to sell at $1.10, it will buy them back from you because it doesn't rely on there being another buyer or another seller out there. And I think that's one thing that can get confusing when you go out into the real world and you might place a buy or a sell and it doesn't execute, and you might sit there for 20, 30, 40 seconds waiting for a buyer to come in. And it's because in the simulator, it doesn't link those two things together. So you have to be very careful about getting into the real world once you're confident in a simulator as well. So now let's talk about some of the pros and the cons of the Warrior Starter program. So one of the issues that I've faced is using the sim. It's not that it's not user-friendly and that it can't be used, but there are occasions where the system lags. So you may go to place an order and it doesn't execute on the spot, but it may still be backed up in there somewhere. So quite often what I find is that I'll go buy, nothing happens, so I go buy again, and all of a sudden I've got two orders. And then sometimes the opposite, I'll go to sell, and I see the order is still sitting there open. So then I'll assume that I haven't gotten it, and I'll go to sell again, and then somehow I end up with the orders that are still open, and I'm losing hundreds of dollars, and I'm not sure what's happening. Have I missed an entry or an exit? So that can often be a little concerning. There's the downtime on last week where no one was able to trade in the simulator for the servers being down, so that was really difficult. On that day I traded with the TradingView paper trading platform, which is not really set up for any kind of day trading. It's more set up for swing trades or trades you want to set up that are going to maybe execute and have a really slow up or down movement. So trying to do a quick movement with a day trade was really difficult, but it ended up being a profitable day there with about $100. So lucky with that one. And you also see chatter in the chat room about other people having the same issues with the sim lagging, and that they start to use other trading platforms for their paper trading. So that's one issue, but that it hasn't happened every day, but there have been a couple of days where that's been tricky. The price is the next thing I'll talk about. I wouldn't say it's a con, because it may save you a lot of money in the future. You will either really get the hang of day trading and being able to pick your stocks and learn your entry and exit points, or it may prove to you that it's not for you, and rather than losing thousands of dollars in your learning of this, you'll lose a couple of $100 for the time spent learning the system, and you'll know that day trading isn't for you. So in terms of the potential negatives, that's really all that I can think of at this stage. Some of the benefits to the course are definitely the camaraderie and community that's definitely present in the chat room. There's a lot of people there that are willing to help you and support you. I've only been an observer at this stage, but everybody really seems to want to help each other out, and there's a lot of people in there that have been hired through the company to be there to assist as well. So if you've got the time to sit in that chat room all day and watch the trading world go by and sit there and watch the questions that are being asked, learn people's strategies, that's a really valuable part of this course. Also the education and the FAQs that come of it, the ability to go to the mentoring sessions should you have the time. So I think for the money, it's worth it, and I would definitely suggest, if you're thinking that this is the path that you want to take, then you should join the course, because you have really nothing to lose. I'll provide you with another recap at the end of the 4 weeks, and potentially some updates between now and then. So good luck with your decision, and if you decide to go ahead with it, happy trading and all the best.